A few little hiccups trying to get online today, although it seems like it was always working. The Restream sort of browser, the way I can see your lovely chat, it's got a little display and that was frozen, so it just really threw me. Apologies for that. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a whole load of blah 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 if you're watching this beyond the point, sort of. But if you are watching this beyond the point of being live, then thank you very much indeed. I really enjoy having an audience to share with my little journey. Gaz Williams Show, if you are new to it, is a weekly, hopefully trying to do weekly little kind of vloggy things about some of the music technology adventures that I'm up to. I'm generally always up to some kind of adventure, some music tech adventure. I've got a couple of exciting weeks ahead of me, including Super Booth next week and then a tour the following week. So there's lots of on the road sort of stuff going to be going on. I'm going to be thinking about what kind of music tech to take with me on those journeys. And I'm going to hopefully try and do as much as I can vlogging, including doing this show next week live from the party. And it's like a kind of at Super Booth. It's not a party. It's just going to be like a preview of things. It is a party, yeah. Why not? But it's a private party. However, it is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a lot of familiar faces. Hopefully, we can catch up with, and I'm going to try and do it if the technology allows, just on the fly using Rode Go mics that we were talking about today on Sonic Talk. If you happen to have watched Sonic Talk, which is great if you do, because Sonic Talk is a very important part, well, certainly a very important part of my life, and it's lovely to share some of these adventures with you out there as well. So it means an awful lot. So thank you so much for joining me on my little quest, because I've got tonight's show is going to be quite fun, and it's a follow-up from last week's show, if you happen to catch that, where I actually ended up pulling all the cables out of my Eurorack modular case, and now I've plugged them all back in again. So we can have a little look at it here, and we can see the cable portals are all keeping the panels. It's nice and accessible. I'm really pleased with the cable portals. If you're new to the show, that these are an invention that I had and then developed with the fantastic Geert Bevan, who realized these things and made some fantastic improvements to them. Without Geert, these things would just be another drawing, you know. So I love cable portals. They're a bit expensive to manufacture at the moment, but you can buy them. You can buy them from uin.com, but they are expensive because each one is individually 3D printed. However, you know, there isn't nothing, you know, these are designed specifically for a job. And I think you can see here what it's actually doing. I'll talk a little bit about the cable portals first before we go a little deeper with the rig, just because a little bit that I did, well, the repatching, I pulled all the cables out last week, but the repatching of it is actually a really kind of enjoyable thing when you use these. And I'm sorry, I don't want this to be like the hard sell thing, like a QVC shopping channel, but it is one of these things that, because this is like a new invention, it's just really interesting to me to actually put it into practice. Because I call this now, when you create it, I call this just that Trans-Island Skyway. And I decide where there's going to be the cable portals beforehand. So I know that if I put this one across here, I've got access to this and this, which is both really important for me. Well, all access to it all, but specifically this. So planning to put that there first. Then this one here is going to be safe because it's below the controls. Same with this kind of bridge, really. It's like a central tube, you know, and then it comes around the outside, as you can see. So it's sort of giving pretty, you know, clear access to all of the controls. There's a few little examples like these ones here, and I like these controls. So these do get in the way. I might decide to reroute them, you know, but I won't do that tonight. I would say now it's about 80%. 80 to 85% patched. So there's still some patchability I'm going to check in with the chat room because I already see questions coming in. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. Lots of nice comments coming in. And thank you for those of you who have stuck with me with my slight fault through two false starts. How long did it take to patch up everything like this? It looks great and very playable. Thank you very much. Really appreciate positive comments about this. As I say, they're a new invention, and it just is curious to see what happens. I say invention. I mean, I can't, over blooming egg what this is. But for me, when I've repatched it, it took about 4 hours, maybe 5 hours to patch. But yeah, it did. It took about that. But as I say, the first thing I did was worked out where Trans-Island Skyway was going to live. And then everything was threaded through. And when they were a bit sort of like hanging low, you find ways to thread ones through that lift them up again, and then they kind of then have that you kind of reinforce their positions with other cables. You put slightly tauter ones in that keep them in the specific place. And I think that's what has been kind of interesting to me because, if you use Velcro, which is absolutely fine to do that, and, if you knew it, just patch it all up. But you can take these out and put them back in without unthreading all of them. And, that's kind of cool. I think it's by having these designated islands that you then thread, you visit each island. But I guess potential downsides is, in some cases, quite short journeys, like from this module to this module is going quite a long way around. So I guess you're going to add a little bit to the weight because you're going to be running more cables, longer cables. But yeah. But anyway, I don't want to go on forever about these, but I think it was just by working out my map, if you will, and then threading it all in to the map has kind of meant now I've just got such great access. The camera angle isn't great for the mixer, but oops, we can do this. I'm feeling nice today, so extra bonus camera angles so we can see the mixer. Yeah. And then the newest module actually is this little tiny Pico DSP from Erica Synths. Now, since I've started putting this rig together, the Erica Synths Pico range there's quite a lot of them in here now. So you got 4 drum voices, 2 which are kind of synths and 2 which are sample players. And then we've also got at the very end, actually, just at the very end there, you can see we've got an output module on the right hand side there. And then the DSP is an effects module. And then over here, we've got the voice, which is another synth voice. And next door, those of you who saw last week's show, is the 2HP low pass filter. Now, something I've been really wanting to do, but I've kept it for tonight, is going to set up some modulators to go into that. And I've got a little idea that I wanted to do. So I thought I'd be desperate to do this, but here is from Beep Boop, this lovely little crossfader. It's passive, and my initial job for it, I wanted it to do an audio task, but that's not what this is better for other tasks, so I'm repurposing it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an output I've got still an output here from the Pamela's new workout. Okay, I'll take one of those outputs, which is very configurable. I'm going to use it as an LFO from there, and that LFO will be timed to the clock. This is the master clock for the whole shebang, so I can send the clock or any division of the clock out, and that's going to be then going into one of the inputs of the crossfader. Okay, I'm going to wire this in a bit. Okay, and then the other input is going to come from the DivKid Oct. So that's a triangle LFO, but it's an analog clock, and each of the outputs starting from the top is fast going to slow from top down. So like if I slow these down, I don't know if you'll be able to see these. Yeah, you can see they go. Well, let's see if I can get the lighting a bit. But like, yeah, you can see I can crank them, and they all scale, but they're not in any way clocked. So they're freeform. So I'll take one of those outputs and put that into the crossfader as well. And then this output then of the crossfader is going to go and feed into the filter input there. And it's kind of nice because I get a control then. This little attenuator then will mean that I can then choose the strength. And then the crossfader is going to be able to crossfade from essentially a nice in-time LFO up into one that's kind of governed by this one here. So we can then get a combination of LFOs that are going to be influenced by by both really. So I'm hoping that by having it with this timed element down here, or whichever way I decide to do it. But that's what I'm gonna. That's one of the patches that I'm gonna set up. But those of you who saw last week, I was really racking my brains with a dilemma, and I thought I'd just explain how this dilemma has resolved itself now. And that dilemma partly is about this module here. This is the latest one that I was waiting for, but that being another. That being another effects unit, we got an effects unit up here, which is called the Milky Way at the top, in that one U at the top there. And we've also got a master effect up there at the top right, which is the IntelliGel. And that can be like it's a very, very simple effect, that top one. But just having the dedicated controls for that, that goes across everything. That's like a kind of master effect. But these effects are getting fed from the auxiliary channel of the Cosmics, okay? So you can see there's 4 auxiliary sends, and those sends, there's little switches you can see just above the pan controls. Those switches allow you to send them either pre or post fade. So that's like a kind of typical thing you'd see on a regular mixer, but that's not the sort of thing you'd typically see on a Eurorack mixer. So it's really handy. It means then you've got essentially two versions, 2 different mixable versions of the track, because what's happening then is the send is going up into this mosaic multiple, and then it's coming out then, and it's going to 4 different locations out the multiple. So the send goes to the Milky Way. It also goes to the new one, the Pico DSP, and it also goes to beads. So, and I should say, and the 4th one also is there going to the disting. That's that one there with the green cable plugged into Z. And that's currently just on standby. I haven't decided on the use of that yet, but the fact I can feed it. Oh, I'm sorry. That signal is a clock, a gate, but I'm able to take out one of those and put it in, so I can get a gate signal and an audio signal into the disting. So then other things can be done. So there's loads of patchable possibilities with this. As I say, it's about 80 to 85% patched. But waiting in the wings, for instance, we've got a couple, actually 3 inputs there. I know waiting to go into the civilization, which is brilliant because that can do some really cool things, especially pitch quantizy things. And also, what else have we got available to us? Yeah, the modulatables on those drums on the left, and I'll patch some of that in today as well. And also this attenuator, attenuverter mixer thing from IntelliGel. That's got a little bit of potential untapped at the moment as well. So there's a little bit more possibilities that I need to explore. But the basic thing I should explain is almost like a mini little studio kind of like almost like a Cubase session in a way. I've got my 4 drum voices actually, and the final 2 drum voices can double up. There's 2 voices there, so it's like 6 voices in 4 modules. There's the 4 voices of the sample module as well, and there's this digital synth there, which is that little Pico one. And then there's this analog synth there, which is the Dopefer. So we've got an analog voice and a digital voice, a sampler, 4 voice there, and then 6 voices there. This sample playback can double up as extra drum voices, or it can be a whole host of things, and that's being driven by the steppy next door, really. But it then can be processed by, or rather the pitch. We can send pitch information into the sampler that's kind of pitch quantized via the civilization. And then we got this thing, which is almost like a little standalone section in itself. This is the 4MS spherical wave navigator flowing into the Prism, which is a stereo filter and delay that can do comb filtering and a bunch of things. And then that's it, because that then goes into the mixer, but that mixer channel that it goes into doesn't have an auxiliary send. So that in a way is just a sort of bit in itself. However, it does flow into the master effect at the top there. And just tucked in there here is the Golden Master from Endorphins. Okay. And then that goes into the output module. But the Golden Master gives us a 3-band mastering processor, which was essentially influenced by the TC Finalizer. So it's a 3-band and actually really powerful. A lot of this, people who've watched previous shows will go, yeah, we've seen all of this. Now, what are you going to do with it? So that's what we'll do in a moment. Well, yeah, I'll have a little play with it now, and then we'll do that patching. So there's the patching that I've explained. So I'm looking forward to doing some of that patching. There's also still plenty of possibilities. There's still a bunch of outputs from the DivKid module there as well that we can utilize. And with beads, all of these kind of inputs, they've also got built in what they call, what are they called? I can't remember, but attenurandiverters or something, attenurandomators or something. I can't remember, but basically they work as their own. They can access its own, like an own LFO, I think, or certainly an internal modifier for these. So patching that one, I have, haven't at the moment, but yeah, I can plug into the seed input an output from the Pams, just a little patch across there. I might do that. Yeah, I definitely will do that as well, because you can turn the beads then into a rhythmical, locked in device. But I think it functions really well as a kind of freeform device too. Okay, right. Let us. Hope you enjoyed that new aspect of the Gaz Williams Show there, those close-ups. Was it steady enough? It was just an idea. I was wondering if it was steady enough to give you a closer look at things. So, yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody. If you just join in, this is my look at my live rig now that it's essentially finished. Yeah, I'm going to try, other than these switching out some of these kind of patches, I'm going to try and keep all the modules now in place, because my first proper gig planned for this is going to be on the 6th of July with Mr. Steve Davis. I'm really excited. He's a fantastic person to make music with, and that gig and the music that we're making has been a big influence on the way I've done this. But like I was mentioning, I've got these different sections, and that's something that I want to do when I'm playing with Steve, is not have all of the sections all playing at the same time, but just focus on just different sections at different points, to create lots of variety, but not to crowd the sound. This is something that's a real lesson in performing with another person. I've mentioned this before, but I think it's a enormous part of this journey. I'm a band person. I'm used to playing with musicians. That's what I want to do. So, yeah. But ironically, getting really funky bass lines is something that I'm not very good at the moment. But I love playing real bass. So, Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Right. Hooray for finishing, says Steve Hasselman. Right. checking in with the chat room again. Cam was fine, says Wagyu. Thank you. I'm kind of Harry Turner. Thank you. Yeah, because I was just trying to get. Yeah, we're going to listen to it, Bill Smith. Yes. So just checking in. Sharing the clock. Yeah. So when I play with Steve, Harry Turner, we're just going to share a clock. I'm going to send him a clock. So I've got to keep one output free on the Pam's new workout. So, alternatively, I could take a clock. I could take a clock from him, but he's got this great module that can distribute the clock in a cool way. So, yeah, but either way, I guess. I'm not fussed if it is me. Although what I do want to do is preview. I do want to just play with the tempo a little bit. And of course, if I'm changing the tempo, it's going to change the tempo for both of us. But if we've got some interesting sort of time, divisions going on, that should make it quite fun as well. But yeah, anyway, we're going to, next time we get together anyway, we're going to try out a bunch of ideas. So, Martin Taylor's asking, how do I set the key scale? I'm just going to, I think, tune by ear to him, I think. We have experimented a little bit with a single quantizing person, one person sort of controlling key. I think it's something that we probably will return to. It is something we are very interested in exploring, very interested. And in fact, the whole thing about pitch quantization and key, keeping things in key is a challenge. It's not easy. It's not easy because, I probably should just set everything droning and get it and tune them all. I should get into the habit of that. I'm not in the habit of that. I'm typically always just tuning it on the fly, which it's difficult to do that without it sounding horrible. But, especially if you're sort of zoning in on the tuning. But, there's still loads to learn, Anyway. ERM multi-clock will sort us out, says the hands of Lenin. The hand of Lenin. Right. Well, yeah, apologies for the fake starts. Yeah, really apologize. It was, it just, it's working now, but it didn't work. If the monitor, it was just frozen. So frustrating. However, we overcome these things. Right. Let's do something. Haha. Just get my level sorted. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done that before. Yeah. But it's kind of cool. There's lots of tweakability with this. So probably not going to do an awful lot of drums, but the drums are just there. You can bring them in and do stuff. But I've tried to keep it relatively simple. But anyway, let's keep that rolling and then see. Oops, I just need to move my mic a little bit. Hang on. If I move that like that, I'll get it a bit squarer on. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, techno-y things. I'm not going to do a lot of techno-y things, but who knows? Who knows? Okay. Let's get a bit more level. Di Stanton, Gaz sounded very Welsh tonight. A recent visit to God's own country yesterday, as it happened. And at the weekend as well. Sorry, just trying to. I don't know what I'm doing really, but having playing with Steve, then I've got something to sort of bounce off as opposed to doing it all by myself. So I'm not really. I don't normally play by myself, but I think. Yeah, I mean, I do get all sorts of stuff going on. Still gravitating a bit towards drums tonight, but let's do something more with this. Let's do a little bit more with the 4MS thing, because this can go off in all sorts of directions. Oh, also, yeah, Marbles has some bizarre control. Maybe a bit of Marbles actually first. Let's just do a little bit of that with. Just open this all up a little bit. Just checking I've got my pitch. I'm not getting much pitch action going on. Hang on. Let's just check. Panic. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm just getting something ready. So the random, Marbles is just especially if I take this off now. Marbles is just going to create a load of random steps. Now, those random steps are going into civilizations. So what I can do is apply pitch quantization to the steps here. But also, Marbles actually has its own pitch quantizer in. So I'll just rely on that for the moment. I'm just letting it just do a bunch of nonsense for a moment. But what I'll do is, I'll lock down the last 16 steps. Let's get the rate going faster. Let's get the trigger. Okay. So it's a real sort of... I did have the deja vu a little bit to the right. I thought that should be... Yeah, so there's a bunch of things you need to remember to do. So like set that at 12 o'clock and then we get a reliable kind of repeat of the steps going on. I'm going to write a checklist of things I've got to remember. So I could narrow the spread of the notes. Narrow them down to just only the same note. And then with the little steps control, I can kind of narrow it down as well. I think as you turn it progressively to the right, it drops notes out, available notes out. Just checking, I might have some pitch quantizing going on here. Shouldn't be. I have. I'll take the pitch quantizing off. I'll come back to that. Okay. So it's sort of like, it's kind of strange. It's like fishing in a strange sort of way, that you're looking to kind of catch something, and you can kind of go up and down stream until you find the right place. So okay, so we've got a simple repeating. I nudged it. bias. So I reckon sending a square wave into bias could be quite good. So you could get it going between different, like make progressions up then. But I'm going to do more pitch control with the Civilization. Anyway, we were going to set up a modulator for this. I hope I get my mojo working. Sorry about the music so far. It's not been that inspiring, but I'll get there. Would you say Marvel's module could replace a sample and hold module? Well, yeah, it can function like that. It's really powerful what it can do, but you know, with some modules, you just need to play around with them for a while before it starts happening. So I need to figure out how to get to those places quickly from a gig point of view, you know. So actually doing like live stream like this quite good because, you know, I could just get like a really basic techno-y thing on the go, couldn't I? Let's get some of that off there. I have got this on the mixer here. There is a switch you can switch in. I'll switch it in for a low and a high band distortion. Low. Ooh, speedy actually in there. Bringing in some of the high as well. Ooh, actually too much of that and the clipping in there. Oh my gosh, hang on. Let's back that down a bit. Okay. And that's an analog effect as well, so it's nice. I've got an analog drive I can put on there. Okay. Now, why is my marble stop playing that rhythm? So stop doing the spread. Why? God, you know. Oh, and it's back again. Something is amiss there. It's just, you know, with these kind of, you could random ways of making music. Okay, let's have a listen to this new effect then. So I'll just do it on that simple little that's me, so oh no, hang on, let's see what that is. Oh yeah, no, this is it. Sorry, this is it. This is the the DSP. But we've got a modulator going on that I can control. Yeah, so that kind of. I think this effect does actually sound really cool. There is a distortion in it. Hang on, let's get that distortion up. And we'll see what that modulator does to the distortion. We're getting quite dirty now. Now let's put an in-time delay on just for the sake of it now. cheap having a 4 on the floor, but it's addictive. Now because I want to get this filter control. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll stop it for a moment. Oh, actually, let's say just a little bit of this just to enjoy teeny weeny control. But it is an analog filter. Combine these two controls. Way I go, thank you. Wagyu, pair character cheerfully blowing a party horn. Like Nick was mentioning that on Sonic today. You see just a description rather than the icon. But yeah, a pair character cheerfully blowing a party horn. It's a nice image. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to do this patching. Let's stop that. Marky is saying get a looper 2 HP in the system to fill in the spaces. Well, I've actually got a looper that I use, the Boss RK 5 of the RC505 Mark II. I haven't got it actually on tonight because I was just finishing the repatching, but that I normally have got a looper, so that's what I do is do layers, and it's loads and loads of fun. But yeah, so as mentioning earlier, I'm just trying to sort of learn, just to do parts rather than complete sort of things. Richard Nicol, system sounds great. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's coming from a real, genuine, huge legend of the modular world, Mr. Richard Nicol from Pittsburgh Modular. Thank you very much. Pittsburgh have got some really interesting new modules, some great looking ones actually, with like animals on them. They look really good. It's a new look and I love them. Yeah. Lovely to hear from you. Malcolm Byte says, Dr. Teeth in the Electric Mayhem. Guess who played drums for them? Hal Blaine. Yeah, well, Hal Blaine did the drums. Was Animal. Oh, wow, my mind might just be blown. Yeah, Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Was working my way through the Muppets, like, on I haven't seen it since the 70s, so watching it again, really enjoying it up until the episode where it got to Liberace. Oh, it was horrible. He's horrible. Oh, horrible person. I just couldn't. Oh, it was horrible. Especially with the Muppets being just such goodly creatures, which I thoroughly believe in, by the way. I mean, you're not telling me they're puppets or whatever. They are real. Kermit. There's too much depth to those guys. Anyway, hit the Liberace episode, and it was like, oh, no. Haven't actually gone back since then. So, yeah, thanks for that, Liberace. Yeah, so let's just have a little look what's being said. Yeah, nice. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Right, yeah, so having a look at the thing. Hope you like the layout with the cable portals, kind of creating nice, easy access for me. Mara saying the Liberace movie on HBO was amazing. No, okay, but one the horrible person. I mean, obviously amazing pianist, but don't know. Wagyu is suggesting I should watch the X-rated Muppets Kent Spong was on about, the Happy Time Murders. I haven't seen that, but what I have seen, and I don't know if it's still available to see, was Meet the Feebles by the fantastic Peter Jackson. I think it was his second film after Bad Taste. Oh my goodness, seeing Bad Taste in the late 80s. What an amazing film. I mean, it was this like super budget film. I'd never seen such a low budget film before, but it was immense with genuine, huge laugh out loud moments. So like Peter Jackson was on my radar from his first movie. And then when Meet the Feebles came out, which is like a Muppets parody, is really funny. It's really wrong. I mean, it really is very, very wrong, but very funny. And then he did Brain Dead. Amazing. Wow. And then fast forward, he did Get Back, which is just, for a Beatle fan like myself, just a slice of heaven. Absolutely amazing. So Peter Jackson, most definitely in my good books, I don't know what to think about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and all that kind of thing. I was excited about them, but I just don't know. Maybe I need to go back to them, maybe sort of reconnect with them. But it's his early stuff, really. It was just amazing. Wow, thank you, Marky. He says, love you, man. Loving your journey and loving your humanity and integrity. Thank you so much. Wow. What a nice thing to say. Thank you. Gosh, blush now. However, yeah, so yeah, let's get back to this. Wagyu said that Bad Taste boggled his mind when randomly caught it on TV. Oh my God, Richard Nicol. We used to watch Meet the Feebles once a week in college. Very off film. Yeah, I know, but yeah, oof. Actually, before I go for any further, little talk about comedy, just very briefly, because for me, my absolute pinnacle of comedy is the series Brass Eye, Channel 4, mid-90s. Infamous. I'm sure everyone knows it, but if you haven't seen Brass Eye, it's amazing. But what was crazy satire in the 90s passes as the real news now. So anyway, I won't dwell too much on that. But yeah. But the whole thing surrounding Chris Morris, really, and especially around that time, you'd never get away with it like these days. It's just sort of, it's kind of crazy that what he got away with. But because before Brass Eye, there was a series, well, actually, long time in the earlier 90s called Jam. There was a TV series called Blue Jam as well, which followed Brass Eye, which is amazing, but is the darkest thing probably ever shown on television. Fictional comedy, I should say. Comedy, the darkest comedy. But he did a series which was incredibly dark called Jam, radio series. And I remember we used to listen to it. This was sort of, 20 years ago or more. But it was on the most commercial radio station in Britain, Radio 1, and it was on around midnight, and it is properly surreal, subversive, dark, very funny, but also the way when was it? I can't remember when it was, so chat room might be able to help me out with that. Maybe not mid-90s, but it was before Brass Eye. Cake is not a made-up drug, says Wagyu. It's yeah, it's not made by plants. It's made from chemicals by sick bastards. Yeah, and then Blue Jam. It's it's as we speed ever hurtling into the future. Kind of those moments. Now you just kind of realize how precious it is, given censorship is like a really weird thing, and. And free speech is so in the news at the moment with Elon Musk and Twitter, which is just like, it's just really hard to comprehend. It's like, is this the worst thing I've ever heard, or is this like the best thing I've ever heard? It's just really, really confusing. And that man is very, very confusing. I'm baffled by him. I'm pretty agnostic about him in a way, because I've heard him say some really good things, and he is in a position to kind of do those good things maybe. However, you get a whole load of kind of crazy with him too. It still makes life a little bit more interesting, especially in these times. Yeah. But yeah, Chris Morris invented the podcast. Yeah, I see what you mean. And what was that? Because that was might need to clarify that, but I think yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm getting diverted, pleasantly diverted. But yeah, comedy, it is important. It's going to be interesting hitting festival season here in Britain. I'm going to playing at a bunch of different ones, but hopefully I'll be able to check out some stuff there and maybe see some comedy if I can, and see where that kind of comedy is at. So like Glastonbury, for instance, is as much as it's a music festival, it's a comedy festival, it's a circus festival, it's it's a healing festival, and each one is huge. It's a mind-boggling, baffling thing. But I think the gig has come in. I think I'm playing it this year, which is a kind of played it many times over the years, and but it's a sort of, it's always like, oh my goodness, it's an enormous task. It uses up such a lot of your reserves. But it is really thrilling and amazing too. I thoroughly recommend everybody should go to Glastonbury at least once. Really, wherever you are in the world, make the pilgrimage. But yeah, the comedy that happens at Glastonbury is always very cutting edge, and I'm just really curious to see what's happening in that world. I was a huge alternative comedy fan, not a comedian, as a teenager. In the 1980s in Britain, certainly we had a counterculture that came through alternative comedy and really sparked from the young ones. I mean, there's other ones as well, but the young ones. If you were the right age for the young ones, which I was, a little bit young, but but really actually maybe perfect age, the young ones, that we kind of took a bet on those guys. We went with them and they delivered, and with the comic strip, and fantastic, amazing. Wow, brilliant. So check out Comic Strip if you've never come across a Comic Strip. It's amazing saying this, but I mean, I know people tune in from all over the world. So, I mean, I'm sure, loads of people this is completely old hat, but yeah. Because it was concurrent, I think, with like certain musical ideas, comedy, and just zeitgeist kind of stuff. It sort of all works together and influences each other as well. And I think Chris Morris made a lot of the music, the ambient music on those shows, like on Jam and Blue Jam, and was certainly deeply involved in picking soundtracks as well. Yeah, but yeah, Young Ones was great as well. There was some really great music. I mean, Ace of Spades. I think I probably heard that in other places as well, but seeing Ace of Spades and Motorhead on the Young Ones, well, it's just like it's like really proper, fantastic. And I don't live very far, literally a few miles away from the house, the famous Young Ones house where they shot all the outdoor scene. Well, anytime you saw the house. I think it was filmed, the whole thing was filmed in Bristol as well, but certainly those scenes were filmed here, the outdoor ones. And yes, that makes me happy. Anyway, what was I talking about? Digressions and diversions. Akira, hey man, check out Akira the Don. Hey, how you doing? Rick Mayall's autobiography is actually the funniest book I ever read. It's painfully great. Wow. Hello, Marky, thank you. I worked on Rick Mayall's last ever project as sound designer. My goodness. Wow. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. That's amazing. Hey, Gaz, glad your eyeball is better. Thank you. Yeah, I was wearing sunglasses last week because it's still a little bit bloodshot, but I can't even remember which eye it is. But yeah, I just didn't want to inflict that on everyone. Steve Powell, The New Statesman. It was brilliant. Again, comedy that's probably too close to the bone these days. Haydenar, it's a muddy festival. Glastonbury. Well, yeah, it can be like the Somme. It can be just like, honestly, unbelievable hard work, mud. But it's still worth it, even in the most trying conditions. But sometimes it's blazing hot, and actually that's not too great either. It just becomes like a dust bowl, and there's no escape from the heat. But sometimes it's just perfect. And occasionally there's been amazing, beautiful weather, and it's just been a few outbreaks of rain, and they've been most welcome. So who knows what it'll be? But I mean, it does come perilously close to destroying the experience when it's super wet. I mean, it is, and it's just having that many people just churn it all up. I've been like wading up to my knees or beyond my knees in mud just to get places. You had to go through that kind of mud. Hayden saying Ben Elton was a pioneer of that kind of humor. Ben Elton was like one of the main guys in the 1980s. He was so at the front of political humor, but also alternative humor in many, many ways. I mean, he feels so establishment now, but back in the 80s, he was like almost the figurehead of the anti-establishment. And I think people have sort of forgotten that because he's become a successful novelist and playwright. And he did, Queen's We Will Rock You, which I haven't seen it, but it's such a mainstream thing. To kind of to remember that Elton John was, counterculture. He was proper counterculture in his day. Yeah, nice one for mentioning him. Yeah, but yeah, sorry, I'm going to get back to what I'm doing now. But thanks so much for joining us. It's really nice to see all the friends here and new friends, and also some. Well, we're all quality people, aren't they? I'm blessed. I am blessed. Thank you so much. Anyway, Ed Random is just going, so I heard I'm saying my modular, no more changes. Well, there will be some changes. I'm still struggling. I got to be honest, I'm still struggling to get to, well, Marbles is acting funny to me. There's a few things that it's not, I felt that it was, I don't know, I maybe need to do some sort of factory reset on it, although it probably just is me. But there's this kind of clock, there's this bias here. And when you put it at 12 o'clock with the green setting, then it's like a coin toss, and it can go either, and it's sending out gates, depending which one. And then there are pitch output. Well, I say pitch outputs, voltage outputs, which follow those gate outputs. And yeah, I've got those outputs. I'm glad I was trying to explain it to you, because I've just figured out what I was doing wrong. So yeah. Right, I think what I'll do is with Civilization is I'll use it more as a kind of sequencer instead for the moment. I got it whilst I just get my head around what's going on. X is feeding Civilization, so I need to feed more of Civilization through. That's what I was doing wrong. Okay, sorry, chatties, I'm going to sort of detach for a moment, but obviously chat amongst yourselves. I'm sure you will. I love that. Yeah, it is. I mean, I do feel ever so. It's so amazing having company whilst I'm just wittering on and noodling. It's a luxury. It is an absolute luxury and a real pleasure. So again, thank you so much if you do join me live, but also thank you so much if you watch this after the fact, because I know a number of people do, and that always, yeah, that's really lovely. As it is, just anyway. I'm going on and on. Let me get back to some music. So I was gonna patch, wasn't I? Let me do that patch, and then we'll explore what that patch can do musically. So I'm going to take I've got to do really little ones, I think. Well, there's definitely a little one to do. It's going to be coming out of the oct and then into this crossfader, so it's next door to it. So the shortest ones I've got are a bunch of these, which I got from Elevator Sound the other day. What are they? Are they the 10 centimeter ones? And I think that's, I guess, realistically the smallest. So with the oct, because you've got these different clocked LFO outputs, you can choose, do I want it to be the fastest or the slowest or somewhere in between? And in this case, I suppose I'm going to take a slightly slower one, and I'll put that in A. Okay, so then I'm going to take an output from Pam's, and we'll see my little threading process, although these are all pretty much, these ones here especially, are kind of almost at maximum now. They're taking a lot of cables, but yeah. So I want an output from the Pams. So I'll just click these in. Sort of pull them through. I like to rotate these a little bit if there's no cross ones on there. Just seems to bind them in a bit. And then I'm going to put this into output. Yeah, I'm going to put it into output 3 on the Pams. But I'm going to make the output 3. I'm going to make it. I'm going to change it from a gate. I'm going to change it to a waveform. And then we'll decide then what rate to set it to. So long press on Pams, waveform. At the moment it's just a gate, but we're going to change that. I think I'll just keep it really simple for now, but I do definitely want to mess with this. But for now, I guess it's going to be easy to tell. I'm going to set the waveform to be in a triangle. So I've got essentially 2 triangle wave LFOs. One will be clocked and one is in free time, governed by this master control at the top here. So, and I'll just run this one as well at the same clock speed. Right, well, I've got another patch to do then, which is I need to get an input into the into the frequency input here. So the journey then is going from our little crossfader that's just tucked here, just tucked in by here. It's got to get to here. So I could either go this way or I could go this way, and this way is slightly less traffic than this way, so I'll go this way. So I got to look for a cable which is just a bit bigger than the width there. So I've got a bunch. So I'll have a look. That feels pretty good. So I'll patch that in then, like that. I've been typically doing it just, you know, probably regret this, but just looping things around a little bit. And then I can feed this into here. I'm going to need a little bit more slack, so I'll just pull that through a little bit more into here. And then into there. So it's kind of cool, you see. I mean, people say, oh, you can do it with Velcro. Well, you would have to have undone all that Velcro to have done that routing, you know. So that kind of works kind of neatly, I think. Right. Okay, so that patch is done. So I think we'll have a little explore of what that actually can do. I've been thinking about this for a while. It's a really basic sort of application, but maybe actually let me just get the camera and show you. So we got it's long. It's got a lot of travel. So Medellin Music just arrived. What are those cable ties? Oh, shall you tell them or shall I? Yeah, they're called cable portals, and they are an invention of mine with great help and actually super design from Mr. Geert Bevan as well. So available from uin.com. Lady Aptitude. Has any sound actually been produced yet? Yeah, it has actually. It has, and there's going to be some now as well. So, okay, so let me just mute everything. And then I'll just bring in the one thing. And, oops, let's get that happening. We're rocking, we're rolling, and I need to get... Yeah, we've got gates going on. Let's just do that for now, that's cool. Okay. I'll open it up. I'll take the attenuator all the way off there. Okay, so there we can see it. Those two LFOs working together. Oh, it's kind of nifty, isn't it? I know it's quite. This is really basic modular stuff, but. And I can choose the rate that LFO, the timed LFO, is running at. Let's in fact do that. That's like the maximum I can send it from this module, I think. set this really slow down here now. Put them both slowish. Hang on, that doesn't sound triangle. We'll just check. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'll just get something up rhythmical so we can hear how the rhythm works against it. I think it'll be better, more fun to have our top one faster. So let's take it a lot faster. Kind of nice. The only problem with this now is these two cables is making a bit of a bridge for my finger, so sorry, not bridge, my finger's bashing in, so I'm going to move that. I'm going to move it down. Oh yeah, much better. I've got much. You can see now my finger can move through uninhibited, which if you've got a big long fader like that, you won't have as much uninhibited movement as you can to it. Nice. It's really nice, isn't it? It's a very simple thing to have, like 2 LFO crossfade, but yeah. So, right, well, I don't want to overdo this. So, okay, that's patched now. I mean, whether that's how it stays, but certainly nice to have that really nice performable control with all of that. I guess if I wanted to make a bit more... I think I'm going to switch these two around. Make the defaults. Oh, maybe I'm just thinking it might be better to have it. I might switch them around and have the oct do a much slower one. So, because the more in time one would probably be better for the fast one, perhaps, and then yeah. Yeah, I'm going to switch that around. So when I push it up, it goes into the timed one. So when it's back, it's going into the div kid. It's going into the oct one. Yeah. I think that makes more sense. Although saying that, it is nice to. I can still play with the speed when it's down, but okay. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to patch that one out. Then that's going to come out from there, and it's going to go into a lower one. In fact, this is the second from bottom, second from slowest one. And then I need to switch over which way around they are, which is easy enough to do, like that. Okay, so clocked at the top, unclocked at the bottom. Just check this now. It was all going far too well then. Check all the sockets are in. In A, in B. Have I switched this way around? Hang on. Oh no, that is. Sorry, stop that droning. Oh my god, I'm leaving that droning like that. I apologise. Right. That was all working fine, and then I unplugged it, and then it's not working. Let's see. So the output's coming out of that div kit, and it's going in. I keep calling it the div kit. It's the oct. The new div kit module does look really nice, though. Stereo processor. It's a shame I'm as far down the line as I've gone with this particular setup, because having a few of them to control the stereo buses, like 2, I think would be fantastic. In this particular setup, DivKid has created a new module that he's made in conjunction, I think, Pascoal manufacturing, but it's his design, and it's a stereo processing strip, and you can you've got like a 3-band EQ, you can like a big control for the volume, but that's CVable, and also CVable pan as well. It's got some really nifty functions, and you can make it line level in or line level out. Nice. Richard Nicol, I'm so sorry I'm missing it. It's lovely to have you here. What an honour. He's a lovely friend of mine as well. Not sure if you'll be at Superbooth this year, but we've got a history at Superbooth of staying up very late together and having such a ball. So he's my party kind of, I hope you don't mind me going public, my like kind of, my hang buddy there to the bitter end. All right, hang on. So, yep, that's right. That's coming in to B. No, it's not. That should be coming out. Yeah, sorry, I did it that way around. That explains everything. Let's just get that drone in again. Apologies about that. Oh god, it's that drone again. It's that drone again. Wait for me, wait for me. The drone, I'm sorry, I'm getting stuck in menus. Yes. Menu diving. The Pam's new workout. It's really small. What is it? Is it 8 or 10 HP? 8 HP. Is really small and relies very much on the tiniest screen. And sadly, my eyesight is not what it was literally in the last year or so, last 2 years maybe, and accelerating. My eyesight, my lovely eyesight was always I was always blessed with good eyesight, but it's on its way now, like, because I'm getting old. It happens to everybody, sadly, but so little tiny displays like the one on the Pams is super small. It is super small. And because you've just got a single control, it's kind of slick. It is a slick interface. I wish you could make it brighter, though. I think unless there is a workaround to make that screen brighter, I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm wrong. If anyone in the chat room knows, Bill Smith. As long as you still have your ears, yeah, they're not too bad. But I should look after them more. I go to a lot of loud gigs. I never wear earplugs. I play a lot of loud gigs. I never wear earplugs. I never have. So yeah, so it is risky, but I mean, Wagoo is suggesting that I need a Game Boy magnifier for the screen. Yeah, maybe you could sort of like mount one just across, just like across here. Actually fasten it to these two cable portals. Synth Addict is saying the Pam screen isn't bright enough. Okay, so they're backing me up on that there. I think if it was brighter, I would be able to see it much better. Okay, let's have a look here. Why I'm seem to be stuck in a save menu. Hang on, what's going on here? Number 3, hit that, long press, load and save. Why am I stuck in a save menu? What am I doing wrong? Save, no. Let's do that. No, we're stuck in that save menu. What am I doing wrong? Okay, Pam's expert. I'm doing something wrong. When I'm going in to change the setting, I'm just going straight into a save, load and save menu. Am I doing it too long? No, I'm going straight back into that save menu. I am. Let me try it on a different. Sorry about this. All right. Okay, so that's letting me. Channel 2 is letting me toggle. Channel 3, let's go into it. No, it's just in that save menu. See, this is one of these things. I mean, my goodness, I have got so many devices in this studio, and ones with memories and with little kind of ways of, specifically the way things work. You got to know all the little quirks and stuff. Then I do need to troubleshoot this setup a lot more. So, you can't have this stuff happen live. Wagyu actually wondered if the PAMS was not powered on as the screen looked off from the handheld cam. Yeah, it just really is very, very weak. The screen is just very, very weak. I think they've learned from that, because the new MFX module that they've got out, which looks really good but is out of stock everywhere, has got a much better screen altogether. It looks really cool, and that screen can also function as a tuner and an oscilloscope of sorts. So, so Marky's off because it's May the 4th. Is off to go watch some Star Wars. All the best. Yeah. The audio engineer stood opposite a 10 speaker stack about 5 yards away at the Gary Newman O2 gig on Saturday night without. Oh my God, I missed that. How did I miss that? Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Oh, hang on. Are we getting? I think Bill Smith. I think Pam's long press menu is only different if accessed from the BPM setting. If one of the 8 outs long press gives more options. Yeah. I get that, but I'm in channel 3. When I go into any of the other channels, long press, it takes me into this specific menu. But when I'm on channel 3, a long press takes me into just a save load menu. So I'm going to just go load. No. Or maybe load. Oh no, I haven't got anything to load. I actually need to save. That's a good. This is good. This is good. This is good from a, I'm prepping this for live, so this kind of stuff is actually good to get this out of the way. It's dead boring for you guys out there, I'm afraid, but for me, it's actually really good because, I need to figure out, I don't want stuff happening like this. I get really panicky when gear isn't working, when I'm just about to go live. And I guess most people would in a way if you're just about to play and your gear isn't working. I've got to really get this down to a fine art where I've got good start points and I know it's all going to work. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to power down and then power it back up again. Let's have a look. 3. No, it's still letting. It's only giving me that option even after I've powered down. So, yeah, Bill Smith has PAMS right in front and he's trying it. So let me just see what you said again. Long press menu is different if accessed from the BPM. Yeah, I get you. Let me just try accessing it from the BPM menu. I wonder what I've done. No. Yeah. Marky's saying a 2 HP looper will save the day. A lot less hassle than a 505. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I'm kind of out of space now, though. Well, hey, but no, I don't think there is a looper in the disting, but the disting is there. It is there, waiting in the wings, and I guess, well, actually, that is 4 HP, so you could maybe switch that out for a looper. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I will consider it, but the 505 is just the beast looper, though, and I've got it on a stand. I've designed my workflow around the 505 as well, so I'm likely to always have the 505 set up. Usually, as I say, it's not there now because I just repatched this, but it will be there normally, and it travels with the rig, with the live rig as well. So save the disting for a poly. I don't think there is a poly on the disting EX. Sorry, on the disting Mark IV. On the EX there is. There's fantastic poly synths on the disting EX. Steve Powell said, I'd be so confused with this control panel, but I guess it's a learning game. Yeah, definitely learning game. Definitely learning game. I hope what everybody can see, though, is like by using the cable portals as a way of creating a trans-island skyway, this pathway for all the cables to go along, does at least make it, I think, much more accessible. Bill Smith, the EX is amazing. Talking about the disting EX there is amazing. It is fantastic. And I've toyed long and hard about using it. I've got it in the rig behind me. It's just off screen. And I've got it set up. Oh, it's amazing. The way it's working in conjunction with the Moogs. And I've got a new sequencer, which I haven't unleashed on everyone yet. It is a beast sequencer, an absolute beast sequencer. I'll keep that as a secret for now, though. That is for future episodes. But that's for my home. That's not going out with me. That's part for my work home studio space. Whereas this is my coming out with me. And in case you're wondering, it's in a Damaru case, which is a really nice, sturdy but lightweight case, built actually in Bristol by Damaru themselves, who are based at Elevator Sound. I mentioned them before, and it's worth mentioning again because these are really nice. They're discreet, really strong, and they can make them to any size, I think. Or there's so much flexibility. They can, create any size you want. So yeah, and sold, I think, exclusively through Elevator Sound. But yeah, very, very cool indeed. So when the lid is on this, it looks just like a sort of black attache case in a way. I do feel a little bit like a spy when I was carrying it on the tube. It's sort of, it feels nice, but also, a valuable thing to be taken around, so you do have to take care. Yeah, but anyway, that's such is life, traveling. Anyway, but touring hopefully is going to be a train-based thing with this. So, but yeah, I'm not going to be leaving it anyway. I'm going to be holding it at all times. Mac is asking me what was the 3 HP module. Well, the module was this one down here, which is this one here is the Pico DSP. So it's another effect, and actually sounds great. So we'll have a listen to that now because I want to play more with that and with this LFO malarkey going on as well. So let's have a look what's happening here. Let's get that rolling and let's get this making a sound again. And I'm afraid it'll be just that boring drone again just for a moment, just until I get things working. Well, in fact, if I can get it making a sound. Oh, I see. I still haven't I was hung up on the riddle of the... Yeah, it's still giving me that. Do you know what? I'm going to abandon output 3 for the time being and move it to output 6 until I can figure out how to get out of that save load. Take like a really long press. No, it's still taking me back there. So it's going to come out of output 6 instead. So I've still got a bunch of outputs available on the PAMs, and I've also got a few fixed outputs on the expander next door, which is called the PXP1. And just for those of you who've not seen the thing before, the PXP one, which I can just see my finger here, we have got a MIDI out, and that's what I send to the looper. So the looper connects to this. I think it does dim. Harry Turner project is saying that does it display? What does it dim? Or maybe I'm not sure if it does. We'll keep an eye on it and see. Yeah. Mac has never had any Erica synths yet. Well, do you know what? I got to be honest. It's got to be said. The Erica synth stuff that I've got here, just the Picos, they all sound magnificent. They sound so much better than you'd expect for 3HP. Really, really cool. I've got to my left, I mean, you can just see it in shot here. I've got another row with some very, very interesting modules in that's for future shows. I haven't been doing a lot of focus on them because I've been focusing on this live rig, but I will be doing them soon because I've got them set up as instruments, and they are phenomenal instruments. And the Captain Big O and the cells from Create Audio, and actually the Mr. Filter, they're all part of this setup. The cells is really cool. It's I can't wait to show that. But there's a secret there. There's a secret one, a big one that's in that system as well. That but my goodness, boom! That's a thing. That's a trip in itself. That instrument has got so much incredible sounds. But yeah, but you know, I guess this live rig, though, you know, has been very much about space management, because there is some big rack hogs in here. This 4MS being the biggest one, but also Marbles is a big module. Grids is a big module as well. The mixer is a big module. Beats relatively big module, and the Rample, I guess, as well. So a lot of the other ones have had to be quite skinny in order to, you know, to work with this. Okay, so let's see now. I've got output 6 working now, so I'm sending output 6, which I can control. So what I need to do with output 6 is go into its little menu. Right, yeah, so I'm outputting that as a triangle wave as well. So yeah, and let's just speed that up a little bit. Let's get some sound as well. I'm just going to get back to where we were. Now, you see, I got so thrown by that little kind of getting stuck in the menu there. So thrown by things like that. It's yeah. So I need to troubleshoot that and figure out why that is. I'm sure it's just a really basic menu thing that I've got wrong. But however, you know, yeah, you know, ironing out those kind of stuff. Let's see if this is actually in fact working. Okay, so I'll switch that around. Yeah. So there we are. That's what I wanted. So I've got the slow LFO here when it's low, and that's coming from this analog unclocked module. I can make it much slower as well. So at its slowest, yeah, it's super slow, isn't it? Wow, really slow. Oh yeah, incredibly, incredibly slow. So I can speed this up. That's the maximum it can go from that particular output, which isn't particularly fast. So I might have to figure out which is the best one for that output to decide which range that I want. And then again, as I press up, then I push it up into the timed one. Yeah. Of course, I can attenuate that as well. Okay, so that's really basic, but what I typically do with the Oct is leave it at 12 o'clock as much as possible because it's as a standard place to get to. So yeah, I want to find what the fastest. I don't mind changing what some of the other are plugged to. I want to prioritize this. So I want to find the maximum speed. That maximum speed when it's at 12 o'clock, I want it to be a little bit faster. Let's try it on the next one up. Have to repatch 2 though, that's the only problem. That's the maximum speed on the slow. Sorry, I'm talking rubbish. That's the maximum speed. I don't know. And then this is the slowest, and that's the default. I think I preferred it the way it was actually, although it means that that's the fastest it can go. Oh, that's what I was doing, wasn't it? I kind of want a bit more range because it's going to be, if I wanted to try and get that roughly into time, I guess I could. Okay, yeah, just these decisions. I'll plug this other one in. Where's this other one going? I have to remind myself. Oh, I know. This other one from that LFO is going into the Rample. The Rample has got a few CV inputs going on. One of which is a pitch. Well, no, all of them are you have to choose what they're mapped to. But I've got a clocked LFO running in, and I've got an unclocked. Right. Anyway, sorry, I'm letting this drone again. Boring. Let's make that. Yeah, maybe let's put that back to 12 o'clock. Yes, it's interesting. Just having this in time one to influence the slow one. Again, let's get something drummy going on to help us out. Kind of nice, isn't it? Being able to have it slow. Excuse my happiness. This is the first time I've ever tried this with this particular module. So just in case you're wondering, this is a beep boop crossfader. Again, I think only available from Elevator Sound. They're made upstairs in Elevator Sound. It's only about 30 quid. What a lovely, it's got really nice action. I just like the length of it, you know. And what is it, 40 millimeters? Yeah, it's like 40 millimeters or something, throw. Okay, so it's very simple what that's doing, but anyway. Let's change the model. It's the model on the Erica DSP. So I mean, this is super simple in there. I've got virtually nothing going on, but it's that was quite nice. Again, I'm just, this idea of just doing very little, or just really maybe. Super simple. I am tempted to take the output of this crossfader, because I love the action of that. I think I'll take the output of this crossfader, and then at the moment that's going into the filter. But I think I might take the output of it and take it through to this, because I could plug it into, say, B, and then I could have 2 outputs or 3 outputs if I wanted. I could then control how much the crossfader affects those 3 destinations, you know. So some effects after the crossfader drone. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Wagyu. That's exactly what I was going to do. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so I'll use the Erica DSP, the new one that literally got today, and literally just installed, and have only just tried it now. So, like I mentioned earlier, I can send it via auxiliary send, and that can go pre-fade. So if I take that out now, of the fader, and then I've got a dry wet control on here. Now I've got a Pam's output then coming into here that I can send then through to this effect. So let's have a listen to some. I'll go fully wet with it for a moment. Let's try a different model. Aha. So you've got a bunch of different delay models. There's some reverbs here. Let's just turn the modulator off. Fully wet. Let's turn the auxiliary send up, make it louder. It does have a clip LED on this little tiny 3 DSP Erica module. Yeah, I like the idea of this crossfader doing more. So yeah, I'll take the output out and then route it in so I can send it to different destinations. It's too nice not to. It's too nice. It's too nice not to. Okay, super basic stuff, but I'm just finding my way around this. Oh, this is like this saturated reverb. Okay, let's bring some dry back in now. We're a bit high, aren't we, for a drone? Let's go down low. Yeah. Try a different sound on the DSP now. So we'll put the filter up more. Send some LFO to the effect. Take off the LFO. To the effect, bring it back again. Yeah, I think the picos are kind of cool. They give you just enough stuff to make it fun. This voice has two parameters. Parameter 2 is acting like a decay, with it being fully on, fully open, or if you turn it all the way over. Which incidentally, these drum voices do that as well. Let's bring some of them in as well. Oh yeah, man! I'm into this idea, so I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna take away our drums for now. Maybe I'll leave a little bit of hi-hat in. Little hi-hat. Mr. Wiggly in the house. Sorry I'm late. What a pleasure. So, Mr. Dominic Hawking, Mr. Wiggly joining us. Me and Dom were on Sonic Talk earlier. Please check out that episode if you haven't already, because it is a fab one. A really, really fun episode. Okay, so I'm going to set these drums now, just droning. Okay, let's pitch them a little bit. All my drums from that side is coming in as only as a mono input. So I can't pan these apart. But let's mess around. I'll just take out our other one for now, for a moment. Send these. There we go. Okay. Let's bring in the other ones as well. Take the hi-hat out. Okay. Let's just sing. These drums then become like voices. I haven't got them patched yet, but I will patch. You can patch CV 1 volt per octave into them too. So, waiting in the wings, we've got the Milky Way. Okay, let's just make this a bit more interesting, sorry. Very dark. Change the voice. Oh, I definitely want to set up that. I'm going to set up that patch now, I think, with... Sorry, it's a bit boring. Too high. I'll go into an ambient wash now. I've still got this drive on here. Let's switch it back on actually. I've got used to them being on. Okay. Not particularly interested at the moment, but let's try and make it do more interesting things. Of course. Just beds, sound effect beds, I guess. Tune this up. Nice having a lot of control over the stereo actually. I've got the pan controls on the mixer, so I can sweep that sort of drum, well it's not really drums is it, but that whoosh that's coming from the drums, I can sweep that across the stereo. I hope we can play live in stereo. Honestly, I hope we can actually. Stereo, I've tried to maintain so many stereo paths on this rig, you know, and stereo, everything in stereo, you have to double up all of the patch cables. Got the filter here, that drum stuff, you can hear that bit, bit of clippage, bit of Wurzel clippage. Back that down a bit. So, of course, I've forgotten to patch that one in. The CV2 input on the wasp filter is certainly worth patching in. We've got an attenuator there. I thought I did, but maybe I haven't. Okay. I'm just going to back these chaps, or chapesses, out. Let's just work with this a moment. like drones or just like sound effect beds like this. Obviously really addictive to play with. Right, let's just get this happening. I think the aliens are tuning into the show now. Yeah. I suppose what I'm trying to do at the moment is just explore what this new effects is giving me the possibility to do. So essentially I've got two multi-effects in a row. I say multi-effect, they can only be one effect at a time, but they can be, you know, there's a choice of different algorithms going into the Pico DSP and then into the Milky Way, and both have got dry wet mixes on, you see. So I'll make both of them dry. I'll take out everything now, so all we're hearing now, actually let's go back to our friend over here. I really like this little Pico voice. Again, that Pico voice is being fed into this little 2HP filter, and that's what our crossfader is modulating. This kind of not thick, fat drone, but this kind of thinner, sort of droney sort of sound is, you know, when I'm playing with Steve, you know, I want to be able to make smaller sounds. I know that sounds silly, but I really like this simplicity. Let's try a different engine. Let's brighten it up. Right up. Yeah. So that's coming in out. So we're listening. I can just maybe bump the volume of that up a little bit. We're listening to that. We're listening to just the sound going through the two effects with the dry wet off. So if I bring in our new boy here, or girl, yeah, these Pico DSP, there's 8 different algorithms. I'll just open up what those algorithms are and we'll go through them. I think you've got four delay algorithms, 2 reverb algorithms, and a rotary algorithm, and I think there is what else is there? I think there is a yeah, and there's a distortion algorithm as well. So I can start with the distortion algorithm. So I know I've been over this a little bit, but this is, as I say, new module to me. So I want to get to know it a little bit more. Let's go to the red one. Here we go, distortion. So digital distortion. I often go on about how I'm not a big fan of digital distortion. However, it does have its place. A couple of weeks ago I did a show where I was doing the double trouble from SCAT. Fantastic dual distortion. Yeah, so I've got my modulator as well, affecting parameter 1. Of the Pico DSP. so that's our distortion. If I open the filter more, I'm also going, yeah, but I am also going through the distortion on the Cosmics. Okay, analog distortion on the Cosmics is now turned off, so we might hear this. We were hearing analog distortion on top of this one. Chords coming from the voice. Oh, what happened there? Oh, I see. Turning that decay off. I'm getting kind of little clicks, but that's okay. Okay, sorry, I'm being very self-indulgent here. Apologies for that, but I say just exploring what this distortion sounds like. Try a different model. Just compare and contrast this digital distortion with a real digital distortion, with a real analog distortion. Here we go. Switch it in. Oh, that I think is rude. Oh, that is. Hang on, that's that clipping then. Oh, you have to be really soft with that. I'll come back out of that. Let's go back to our... Size 7 saying some cool cable ties there. That property. Thank you. This is Cable Portals, Bevan and Gaz Williams 2022 invention. Okay, I'm going to move off from the distortion. So this is a mono delay now. So parameter 1. Parameter 1 is mapped to the delay time. So I can mess with the delay time and turn up the feedback. Fun. So I think I'm going to stop this and do another patch. How are we doing for time? Oh, I've been doing this for ages, haven't I? Oh my goodness, just looked at the time. Okay, I can probably stop pretty soon. The time is like really, I'm doing this ages. Thanks so much though for joining me. It makes the journey that much more fun. Yeah, so if you didn't catch the top of the show, I'm going to be doing some live streams from Superbooth next week. Hooking up with Sonic, hopefully doing some stuff with Sonic, but also going to be doing stuff on this here channel. So, in fact, I think we're coming to a nice natural end there. Maybe I'll do a little jam out if you want. Oh, the audio engineer says it sounds like the Future Sound of London stuff from the 90s. I hope so. I can't tell you how much that was an influence on me. The Lifeforms album in particular, and the song Papua New Guinea. Oh, what a great track that was. But then Lifeforms was a very ambient, exploratory album that I listened to countless times. And every time I heard it, I couldn't remember a single thing from it. It's just has this kind of, well, no, that's not strictly true, but it does kind of just take you into this sort of kind of kaleidoscopic mush, I guess, you know, psychedelic, fantastic album. I loved it so much. So yeah, I'll take that. I will take that. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed it tonight, everyone. I mean, it's been a little bit, I mean, what I've been really excited to show you again, I guess, is this other way the cable portals are done, and the fact that it's, well, I said it was 80 to 85% mapped. Let's call it 85% mapped now, with the addition of what we did. I do want to put this extra, oh, I said I will do it. I guess I was only procrastinating because it's going to mean having to do some long patching. Is this going to be long enough? It probably isn't now. So this cable has got a longer journey. Oh no, hangs about now. That can come up this way. Yeah, okay, it's a bit long now for that route, so I'm going to find a shorter one. And then, yeah, so the LFOs, which are feeding my little crossfader, that's good. I don't need to patch that, but I do need to send an output from here. In fact, what is this doing at the moment? Oh yeah, that's cool. I've got an output ready coming out of the oct into channel 4 there, which then means it means I've got an attenuator or an attenuverter. You can flick that into a attenuverter, which actually makes sense with this triangle LFO. So I'll turn it down for now. I haven't actually decided where that's going to route from, but what I'm going to do is into B. I'm going to put our crossfader into B, and then that means I've got potentially 2 destinations for the crossfader, and I can optionally, if I take that out, then B will, where's that currently going? Oh yeah. Oh, I've just remembered what I'm doing. Hang on. Sorry. Let me just get back to, right. I've forgotten what I'd already set up, so I think I will, I should preserve that. I'll take it out. I'll leave those in, A and B, and then C and D are both going to be outputs coming from the crossfader. So I'll send it to 2 destinations. I want those two. I want those 2 for a specific job that's already. So I will just quickly do this. This will be the final thing. Not the most thrilling thing, but I said I'm going to do it. So, okay, so the output then, this is a good length for that one. I'll thread it underneath a few of these. I mean, it's a bit willy-nilly, that is, but it does at least, oh, actually, let's do that. Yeah, it's a real big, ugly bunch of cables here, but it takes up some of the slack. Thread that into there, pop that into there. In fact, there's still a bit too much slack on that one, so I'll just loop it around again here. Loop, a loop, a loop. There we go. Let's loop that from there and then pop it into the cable portal like that, and then into there. That's better. Okay, so now I've got 2 out. I've got 2 destinations, so I need to send one into here, which is that path that we just had. It's a bit long, that one. Find a slightly shorter one. Wrong. Yeah, I mean, Eurorack is expensive. Like, I've spent a lot of money on cables alone. I really apologize for anyone else who might have started doing Eurorack, because in the rare occasion they might have been into what I was doing. Is that long enough? Yeah, maybe. So sometimes this is quite a good example where I want to send it to there, but I'm going to send it a little bit longer. I'm going to send it through here, through this hairy bit here, and then through this one. Oh, is it going to reach? Oh, look, see, that's one of these compromises now. I can have it, I could reach it in like that, but I've brought like a compromise in. I don't think I like that. I've been diligently threading it through. So let's just see what happens. Can it reach this way? It's too short to reach this way. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's perfect. It'll be great that way. So I'll take it along here. As I say, like weaving it and threading it. It's actually, this one isn't going to go through any cable portals. Up. Let's loop it round there a few times. Yeah. There we go. Oh, ugly. No, don't like it. Don't like it. Want to find a better route for it. Maybe it just needs to be. I'm trying to make this so so this jumble of cables here. I didn't need a cable portal there because there's this path alongside the filter that just okay. Not super happy with that. Just yet, but there we go. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. I should mention with the lid of this, the lid is quite shallow. So if I was using stackables, the stackables would be a little bit too high. So when I was deciding where the cable portals go, they've got to be able to be pressed down by the lid and not damage any of the cables. And I made sure that all of them can have a place to be pressed down into, which is fine. All of them pressed down nice there. But what I do then is fluff them up a little bit, just to make sure there's plenty of space. Having to watch out though, I'm pretty sure what I'm going to have to do every time I perform live is just go through after I've traveled with it, pressing in all of the sockets, making sure nothing is lifted, and probably need to do that a few times. Okay, so we've got a loose one here, which is going to the I've got that here. So this one, I might leave that plugged in. That could be quite useful. Ooh. Okay, so now I've got, right, I think I'm going to probably leave now because this is I've got another dilemma that I won't inflict on you. But basically now, because of the routing that I've just put in, I've got another output here that's got an attenuator and that is being fed by this crossfader. So that's really nice. That gives me some a really exciting output, really, because that crossfader is lovely. But yeah, so okay, I'm going to ask the chat room if you want me to play it out, or if time is enough and we should be calling time on things. Oh, Richard Nicol, Cable Management of the Year award is mine. Gaz Williams from Richard Nicol. Oh my goodness, I will take that. Yeah. So yeah, cable portals. See, okay, they're all right. The cable portals, they're all right, and I think they look funky. They do look cool. I have got some others here, and you know, if you prefer, you could go a darker or you could get them just in like plain grey, or different, or like grayscale. You could do it in it if you didn't like it being colourful. Thank you very much, David. And the video game controller jumps up and down excitedly. Here's the icon. Mara's suggesting to move the crossfader to the far left of the case. That would be more playable. However, I can get my finger in there nice. I'm all right about that. And to be honest, to move that one would involve moving all of them, even though a little bit. And it's just like, oh my goodness, the amount of times I've been doing that in and out. Joe O'Connor, a little blast would be good for a good nightcap. Okay, thank you so much. Richard Nicol, audio cable portals today. Yeah, and actually, see, they also double up as... No, I'm not going to say it. No, they don't. But finger warmers. Yes, finger warmers. Yeah, so really nice finger warmers. And look, they can go all the way down. Yeah, yeah, finger warmers with a slight flaw. Yeah. Okay, well, again, thanks so much for joining me. Some wonderful people have joined us tonight, and certainly Mr. Richard Nicol having a modular, what can I say, one of the gods of modular joining us tonight. So what a pleasure. Thank you so much. Right, well, I guess, okay, I'll just do a little bit of sausage warmers is what 100 Turtles called. Yeah, yeah. Or actually... like a Frankfurter preserver, that if you have to, for whatever reason, put your Frankfurters loose in your rucksack, you can put them in here and protect the majority of the Frankfurter. The ends, no, but, you know. But yeah. I'm going to appear in people's dreams tonight with a set of these on my fingers. Oh, okay. Anyway, right, enough. I'll try and see if I can do something to get us out here. Okay, I'm just having a little think, and I want to go to civilization. In time, I've got to practice a lot with this. I want to get really fast on the civilization. It isn't, it takes a lot of head work, and the cheat sheet is super useful. I did see that on the website now you can download an STL file of a little additional thing that you could have. I can think it becomes a module. You can print out some sort of module that you pull it out and the cheat sheet lives on this kind of module. So there's a 3D printable version of a cheat sheet, which, yeah, that would be pretty cool. Because like with Civilization, there is no legend on here other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 in, and 1, 2, 3, 4 out. And pressing them is a color. They're depending on the modes, all the different modes, they all do different things. So there's a language of LED colors going on. Oh my goodness. No, do you know what? I think I'm not going to do this because I'm not confident how that is going to work. So I'll do something different. Let's do it from here. We're in the doom gloom land. Let's try and get out of the doom and gloom land. Let's close out for now. Just getting my things together. Just get this thing working. This. Very thin. It's like these chords. I noticed with this qubit prism, I've got the LFO constantly feeding the cutoff, but you have to put the pot a little bit off to the left. I don't know if that's typical with qubit modules. Oh my goodness, I have got something I do want to talk to you about before I go. And that's the musical experience, that one of the best musical experiences of my life, which happened on Monday. I'm going to come full screen and I'll use this drone in the background while I tell you about it. I was fortunate enough to go and see Hermeto Pascoal in concert in St. George's in Bristol on Monday night. 85 years old, one of Brazil's most legendary musicians. Famous, very famous man, an albino with long white hair and a beard, very distinctive looking. Wow, what an experience, what a band. Oh, do you know, it was very humbling. There were many, like, Bristol musicians had come out that night. Some of the best musicians I know actually had come out that night, and we were all humbled, you know, by what we witnessed, and the humor and the playfulness was just so lovely. It was like, you know, I mean, 85 years old, but still clearly, utterly in the moment, and in fact, what he did that day totally blew me away. When he was in the hotel, he composed a piece of music specifically for Bristol. I wonder if I can. He held it up and he donated this piece of music that he performed to the city, which was an astonishing gesture. But also, his band played it for the first time. They played it. It had been composed that afternoon, and it was a proper composition. It wasn't just like this lightweight thing. And I mean, wow, what a thing. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this, but I'll zoom the picture, and I took a photograph of the score. Here's the great man. I wonder if I can. Will the camera focus on it? I don't think it will. Oh, a little bit. There he is, playing the accordion, the squeeze box, which he was really. Oh, it was incredible. He was so good at that. But let's see if I can zoom in on this piece of music. I wonder if I can get this to focus now. This is a big ask. Oh, maybe not. Hang on, let me try it like this. Here it is. Look at that. Look at that. How cool is that? So if I zoom the picture out a little bit, you'll see, there we go. This lady is from the St. George's. So any of you readers out there, I just thought, wow, how cool was that? Anyway, and it was a great piece of music. Ooh, I like that camera. That's useful, isn't it? Being able to do that. But yeah, and that band. So there was a guy on piano. There was all males. Chap on drums, chap on bass. I think the bassist may be the drummer's dad as well. And then there was percussionist. And I need to learn all of the names because all of them were just exemplary. A chap then playing woodwinds, saxon and flute, who was incredible. And then Hermeto himself, who played a variety of instruments across the gig. He played piano, and funnily enough, and synth heads are going to love this, he plays a DX7. But the thing is, he doesn't carry a DX7 with him. The promoters have to find a DX7. He brings a cartridge. He brings a DX7 cartridge to the gig. I thought, wow, how about that? The promoters have to find a DX7. He plugs his cartridge in. So he played DX7, some piano, the squeeze box, and I'm not quite sure what it was. It was like a big bass flute that had and he came on using it as a walking stick. He's a funny guy. And of course, he did some of his kind of water-based stuff, which I think one of the most famous clips of Hermeto is him and a bunch of other musicians all in a water, like a lagoon by a waterfall, and they go under the water and, and use the water. So he he came on with a big wine glass, had water in it, up to the microphone, was singing and making noises into the wine glass, so the microphone picking up the wine glass and using the water to burble and to do things with the water, which made it all, do all sorts of things. It was brilliant. It was so enjoyable. And actually, the whole gig started with the other band members all coming up with different bottles, beer bottles and wine bottles. And then they all started, or whatever the rhythm was. And they were obviously really good at this. They could get really, it was tight and the harmony was really nice. Then Hermeto came on stage and played some grand piano over it, and it was all completely out to what he was doing, what the guys are doing. And that's what I'm thinking, hang on, he's playing it totally different. But then it wasn't that he was playing out. He was doing this, he knew exactly what he was doing. He was kind of expanding the tonal the tonal universe that the rest of the gig was kind of exploring. These musicians, they were cosmic, they were incredible, and all guided by Hermeto. And Hermeto, played maybe less than half the gig in terms of actually playing, and everybody was allowed a moment to shine as well. So that was terrific to see. Everyone on the stage was just amazing. So anyway, on that little note, I strongly recommend you check Hermeto out if you haven't already. Very, very well-known Brazilian musician. And if you're familiar with the album Live Evil by Miles Davis, then I think there's 3 of Hermeto's compositions on that album, and Hermeto plays on it too. And allegedly, Miles Davis described him as the most impressive musician in the world. So that's coming from Miles Davis. That's an amazing endorsement, if ever there was. Okay, so I think on that little note, I think we'll just drift off and I shall say goodbye. Thank you once more for joining me. And yeah, been fun. Long. So if you've gone the distance, I applaud you. Don't forget next week, live from Super Booth. Total mystery. Actually, hopefully Bo Beats will be joining me for a time. That will be nice. I will be talking all things Super Booth, of course. It'd be lovely if any of you can make it out to Super Booth. Come say hello. Although I'm gonna have a hell of a schedule on making content, but it's gonna be fun. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Dom. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everybody. Oh my God, Richard Nickel. See you at Super Booth. Oh yes, I must have missed that if you said that earlier. That's just made my night. Yeah. Oh well, I'll come and see you for sure. Amazing. Okay, just drifting off. Oops. Good night.